So now we have our tabs, and we need to fix this navbar because we don't have in the other pages. Here in our code on our up home, we are showing that header with the title and the menu button. But instead of copying this header into every component, which is a really bad practice because you are repeating yourself, and then if you need to change something, you would have to go to every single component and change it. We're gonna create a component and then add it to every other component. Because we're just adding a title and a button, we don't need a full stencil component to accomplish that. If you take a look on the stencil documentation, here in the components, they have a functional components, which is basically a stateless component. You pass data to it and it will display. So we're gonna use that to create our navbar. Here in our code, we're going to create a file. You can create a folder and add as many as you want. I'm just gonna create a file. I'm gonna call it functional.tsx. So we're gonna import this functional component from the stencil core. You can create it without, but that's the reason we're using TypeScript, so you can have types to our components. So here I'm going to space that, and what do you need to pass to this component, as we saw on the page home. Right now we need a title. We could add some more stuff after, but let's first create an interface. An interface is a TypeScript way of constrain object. So props. And here we need a title, which is gonna be a string. So now we can export a variable called navbar. You can name it whatever you like, with the type functional component navbar props. So what it does is just gonna take props and we return something. So the props in here is going to be the title. So title. And here we can copy the app header, because that's what we want it to return, and change in here for title. Just like that. So now we can add this component everywhere in our application, and if you need to change, you just come here and change it on a single file. So here we can just remove this and add that navbar. So navbar, we just need to import it at the top. And it's complaining because we have the types. Property type is missing. So title, it's gonna be home. Now let's add it to the other pages. It's gonna copy this one. And we also need to import. Let's load our server and try it out. So npm start. Now we have in the about page, in the home, we have our title, and everything works well. If you want to remove this border from your header component, you can just go to our functional components in the header. We put no border. Now it disappears. Now let's add it to the rest of the components. Just gonna copy it again. So we have our tabs dashboard. Import. Dashboard. If you check, we have our menu everywhere. So that's about it for the navbar. The functional components, it's a really nice way for you to break down your application into smaller chunks. We can just separate some parts of it that you can reuse somewhere else. And just pass the data to it and get it to display for you.